So this is a short, well, may not be short, video about the process I'm doing with the Polaroid conversions to take modern film. So basically this project started where I wanted to utilize photography in a more artistic form. However, due to the price of film, it's very expensive, and a lot of the cameras that we have on the market are plastic and not glass. So the quality is not as prominent as I want to for my artistic vision. So initially, I call this project the Warhol Revival Project because the purpose of it is to make taking photos, especially integral film like this, more mainstream to, give, instead of just being on a digital platform where we're sharing it on social media, etc. Having something tangible you can hold that, is an anchor weight for you. So I started my research with this camera. I found this at a store called, a secondhand store called Recraft. They go online for about 200 bucks. I got mine for 20. And I was like, this is a cool camera, but it's not useful to me. This is my first time seeing the camera before I knew a lot about Andy Warhol and how he used to use the same model for a lot of his different projects. So I was like, can I use it in modern era? Film costs 200 bucks a pack now, so I'm not paying for that for something that's expired and unreliable. So how can I make it modern? So I use this one. Also, there's another issue. The flash, it's a Magic Cube flash, so they only have just that one flash, So it's either those square cubes or an electronic one that's compatible, which is super rare to find because they don't make them anymore. It's called Instamatic flash that has this special slot like that. And if you don't know what it looks like, or it's easy to confuse or miss up. They go for cheap, but they're hard to find. So that's if they work. So I finally got this prototype working and I dropped it. So I got the prototype working and then I dropped it. I broke the flash that it came with, which is in here somewhere. Yeah, I dropped it and now it won't work until I learn how to fix it. But it also, the shutter, it jams. And the reason it jams is because this is made of plastic. So the plastic's not reliable. And the lens looks great. I'll get into what I converted it to in a minute, but we're just talking about the camera itself. The lens is great. It's maybe plastic, but the way that it focuses and it reflects through this whole bellow, it gets such immense detail, which is why Warhol really loved it. And it's a shame that, I'm gonna keep it, even though I gutted it out and everything and to modify it, which I did succeed. But it's not reliable enough to use consistently to be able to get the type of look I want consistently, which sucks, but hey, we do what we can. So we'll mosey on I'll explain about what the Instax cameras are, and then I'll get into my recent conversion. I don't like to keep you waiting, but the backstory is necessary. So these are the Instamatic instant film. So there's two variants. There's, well, three technically, but the only two I have access to is the Instax Mini, which takes these type of photos here, the small ones. And then we have the Instax Wide camera here that takes these much larger ones like this. The chemistry is amazing. I can see a lot of detail in it, and it has the potential to burn a lot of detail into it. However, the thing about all these cameras, except for the stupid expensive ones, like this retails for over $100-something, even though it's old and broken. That's for something used. And, I ended up buying this one off my friend, and then I ended up fixing it. So I'm gonna see if he wants it back. But yeah, this is old. This is old, but it still costs so much money because of how interesting the engineering is. And I'm you know, it's beautiful to be able to, you know, actually look at it, understand the science, and see why it's known for being so good. So the Instax Wide is nice, but the Instax Wide film is not as accessible as the Mini, which is my only real complaint. You can buy it in bulk, but I want to be able to, you know, go anywhere and find it a lot easier than this. And this is more main common, but the cameras are cheap. Like, this is a glass. This isn't even glass, I don't think. It's plastic. Again, it takes good images, but it's just not reliable at all. So I say all that to say that I found that I really like the film format because of the way it burns. It exposes from the back, so it'll burn the image here and then it'll appear here. But the glass I wasn't satisfied with. I could not be satisfied with that level of quality that these cameras naturally give out. So that leads me to doing what I call the Warhol Revival Project, where I'm taking an integral back of one of these cameras. Currently I'm using an Instant Mini, and I built it, or modified it rather. I don't want to coin the term building. So a lot of the parts that I'm using here, I moved into this to allow it to be able to flow well. So basically this model is the Polaroid Pathfinder, which is one of the first Polaroids, maybe like, so this is the 110A in specific. Has a window, manual shutter, leaf lens, full glass, metal plating, really sturdy body, and it's technically a medium format camera. Now that's important because the glass itself is what makes the quality image. Like I said, cameras were built differently back then. They weren't trying to cookie cut some stuff around. You can get it with a plastic lens. Like I said, you can get it with this, and it's a really nice lens, but it's limited by the build quality. The plastic and the shutter sticking and all that, it's not reliable enough to use consistently if I want to make it fungible. So I modified this one to use the instant back, and basically the way it works is I'll try to take a sample photo while I'm here. Might as well, just so I can show you on camera. Turn the flash on. And basically I purpose this thing so I can give people quality images, like a photo booth, but you can get much better quality image. So this is with this camera. I took this with this, but if you get real close, you can see a lot more of the details. You probably can't because of the, but you can, it even shows the car's grills, the different values, the details in the engine. And that's something that even with this larger camera, there's still an absence of details simply by the lens itself. I can put another lens on this, but that's more work. And you know, why make your life harder if you don't have to? I can worry about that project another day, but this one's more efficient for my needs because all I have to do is align, well, it's a lot more I have to do, but aligning the bellows that match with the focal plane of this, calculate the distance, take an app that allows me to, you know, calculate the light meter, and then utilize the flash, etc. And this version has both the rangefinder and a viewfinder here that allows me to both focus and see the image of the shape and then see how it's supposed to align. So when I take this photo, after I cock the shutter and then do that, and we'll see how it comes out. It might be underexposed since the flash didn't fire, because I have to readjust the cord and cable. But we'll see what happens. If anything comes out of it, I won't complain. But the purpose of it is the fact that I want to be able to do this high quality consistently. And having full manual controls is integral for that process. And the sturdy build quality. And another thing about it that's very important is it doesn't require batteries except for the flash, meaning that when I take it out to different places, if my battery dies or whatever the case might be, I'll be able to have a successful way to create and produce. And as you see here, we're already starting to get something coming up. I have to work on the alignment again, but one beautiful thing about this camera is that because it's a smaller film pack in comparison to the Instax wide, it's basically serving as like a crop sensor, like a 0.2. So this is a 127 lens, I believe. And because this is a 127 lens, that crop factor multiplies that. So basically I get a 200 millimeter lens similar to this camera, making it one of the perfect portrait lenses for this. And I still get to keep such superb quality that this would have. So it's a lot to process and calculate. I could even see myself in the video on my phone that I took a photo of with my camera. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. So, you know, that's my rant. My goal for recording this long video is in case something happens, because life happens, I want someone to find this video and maximize the technology. I mean, there are kits online that you can do all that for. But everything I paid a lot for all this overall. But if you can get a camera that's cheap, that you know how to fix the bellows and the glass is good, you can take a bunch of photos with these and they're still quality. This is 70, 80-year-old camera. So you can get a lot of good quality out of this if you really, really understand the science and learn. It's on YouTube. I taught myself. I hope this inspires somebody to break the limits of society and really build something unique. More than anything, I won't be offended if you do it. I'll ask you how you did it, because it's needed. Creativity is needed, and we don't have enough of it right now. So if I can help you create something, let's do it. And I'm going to implement this into my art style. I can't get into too much detail for disclosure purposes, but because I want to maximize and get these flashes working and stuff like that, maybe do some double exposures or, you know, various different techniques to really maximize my purpose with this. So praying that I'm able to, you know, create something monumental with this. And if you want to help support, just message me and I'll tell you how you can. Thank you guys again, and you know, I'll hear from you soon, I hope.